Welcome to the CEA Show Match Charity Grand Final. I'm Waxin, joined by Madante, and we are so excited to bring you this phenomenal Grand Final for Counter-Strike. Dante, it's a pleasure to be here with you today. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling, well, for anyone that doesn't know, obviously there was the schedule changes and such, so initially this was going to be a lot more kind of, chill, kind of late evening sort of vibes. We are, Waxon and myself are very much in the throe of night time now, so we are now getting a fully different experience for, but I'm sure a couple rounds of this and you'll be more than invigorated and ready to throw down and see what is going down, and yes, it's going to be a very exciting time. So, in terms of it, before we kind of discuss the teams that we're going to be watching, I think it's only appropriate that we see which teams didn't quite make the cut and see how the journey kind of landed us to where we are now. So we just have a look through, and here we go. So, I mean, yeah, Wax, and you want to take us through this?
Well, I first gotta ask, is this the seed teams? Is that the number we see before the name of the teams?
Oh yes, that will be. As far as yes, that will be the seeding. So
I'm looking like in the upper bracket, round 2. Ford Gogo squad, one of the grand finalists, already defeated Epic CS 2, right? And of course they'll be facing Epic CS 1, but Epic CS 2 was the #1 seed. So how much can we read into that, I wonder?
I mean, it's a different kind of exciting style as well, because not only can you read into it, but because it's like two rosters from the same kind of lineup, it's Epic CS1, Epic CS2, you gotta imagine that those teams are playing against each other. Those teams are coming up with strats. Those teams are very much practicing just a lot of their executes against each other. So if Ford Gogo was able to kind of 2-0 Epic CS2, and as we can see, Epic CS are able to actually then kind of deal with Epic CS2 themselves. Now we see how that matchup initially went. Epic CS managing to 2-0 Ford Gogo. We'll have to see if there's been enough, if there's been practice, if there's been enough research to carry them through it.
I've also seen, like, other than that second round lower bracket match, all of the games so far have been a 2-0. So I would like to say a complete best of 3, going all the way for the grand finals, because we want to get to see more Counter-Strike, right?
We want to see what these teams want to do. We want to see that these teams have practiced. We want to see that these teams are ready to kind of show off, because it's a pretty big thing. So what the teams are actually playing for here. So first place is going to get a option of $600, which has lovingly been provided by Luna down below. So a big shout out to them for that. And then the second place team. So unfortunately, the losers of this, they still get $300 though towards their chosen charity. So obviously a decent bit of money either way, but you know, come on, it's double the money if you get that first place. You really, surely you want to be going for that.
Yeah, of course. And you know, it's more than anything, it's the prestige. I think that's one of the things you gotta consider. You are gonna be boasting to your friends for so long that you won this tournament. But I hear that we already know what the first map is going to be, Dante, and I think we will be heading to Mirage.
Okay. So, for anyone that doesn't know, and our beautiful director, Gatago, I believe he has noted down, I made a guess of the 3 maps that we would see. And every time I've done anything like that, I usually get it horrifically wrong. However, I believe, and I'm sure Git is going to have the receipts on me, of course, but this was actually my first pick, so we're 1 of 3, so no, not a 0%, so I'll take it.
Yeah, and who knows, this is early on, you could just know all of them by the end of this, but Mirage quite expected, the most played map by everybody, so I'm not, you know, hoping to see anything new, but who knows, this is the beauty of amateur Counter-Strike, because the teams can cook up some very fun and nice strats, and, you know, we could talk about current meta, but what do you think these teams would like to, what side would you believe the teams would like to start on Mirage?
Based just purely off of the fact that obviously CS have had 2 rosters, I can imagine there's been quite a lot of W key setups from them specifically, because there are times where you see teams that have, like, you know, similar orgs or everything. There's a bit less respect, usually in good faith. Sometimes, like, very occasionally, it can be, you know, it's very much very serious, and it's not all done entirely in good faith. But a lot of the times you do see those kind of super aggressive playstyles get fostered, mainly because it's big brother versus little brother. You know how it is. You wrestled with your with your big brother, your little brother, and then someone, you know, got a little bit too into the pile driver, and then, you know, the crying started, and mom and dad had to be, you know, you had to find out a way to really. Yeah, exactly. You had to find a way very quickly to cover that up. So we'll see how it's through. That's what I'm expecting to see, particularly from CS.
Well, I mean, I can only, you know, wait to get to that point, but we are ready to get into the first map of Mirage of this grand final, and we will begin with Epic CS on the CT side, Ford GoGo on the T side, and it's gonna be Mirage Pistols.
And we see the kind of usual setup here. A couple Tech-9s for the side of Ford GoGo. A very just fast commit towards, so they're not really going to be wasting too much time here on the A commit here. Of course, the utility, the smokes and the flashes going through. Actually, a very util heavy pistol round. And oh my days, it's Artini actually with not only 1, but a second to follow it up. That utility maybe not enough for Ford GoGo initially to enter in, but they're not done just yet.
Pingo getting 2 back for his side, and now they have the player advantage. Saj and Micah playing behind the smoke, but the bomb is already ticking.
As it falls, oh, the shots are coming through. Pingo's able to take the advantage here. Oh, Sage able to survive quite a bit longer than maybe was expected, but Gato surely has heard the fall, and yes, an excellent double angle there. The crossfire from Immortal and Gato, very, very clean. Excellent execute from the side of Ford GoGo. Honestly, was very close to seeing Epic CS kind of hold their footing and kind of dig their heels in. Unfortunately for them, just not quite able to stand their ground, and a very clean pistol going towards Ford GoGo.
Yeah, and you know, we often speak about momentum, getting the pistol round, and let's see the investment. We got an MP5, Dante. That's
interesting.
Pingo very confident after that 3K.
Interesting to see. I mean, the Mag 10s for the rest. I mean, particularly as well to rush it down B site. Yeah, we can see Nick here. He's currently lurking in the smokes. He wants to take those kind of closer angles. Saj though, kind of showing that, you know, if you're going to play those kind of submachine guns, you need to play at those really kind of effective ranges. If you are kind of too far away, you will be punished by the pistol entirely. So the bomb now going down, and Epic CS having to get this retake yet again.
Ooh, shooting gallery for Gatto. Okay. The USP prevails, but Bottom Trout will be taken out. And it's going to be Artini 1v3. One bullet to Pingu would get the job done, but it's not going to connect. So he falls as for Gogo. Only lose 2, but they plant the bomb, and they're going to be fine for the next one, as Pingu is up to 7 kills already.
I mean, this is what you want your entry to do. You want him to hold W, you want him to pick up the frags, and currently Ford Gogo, I mean, the emphasis on Gogo. There has not been too much hesitation here, not too much patience at the moment. The executes seem pretty, you know, pretty well thought out, pretty planned out, and executed so far pretty flawlessly, it's got to be said. This time now with the utility, with the buy, favoring Epic CS. I say that as we look at Pingu holding down mid with the op, but that's a full set of utility, a lot of armor for the side of Epic CS. They really want to take this fight, but that's a big opening frag on mid with actually no backup for really either side.
Oh, Immortal getting an opening there. Saj falling once again. Micah taking a ton of utility damage. Artini needs to find something on the cross. Swings out connector. That's the bomb down, but Immortal would get the trade right away. It's gonna have to be Micah holding this position on the high ground. My God, Immortal indeed. And now Simi is trying to find something, but it's not gonna go in his favor as Nick wide swings to get the final kill of the round.
That bomb plant as well, it's, you know, not really too relevant at the moment. I mean, Ford Gogo, the economy looking incredibly comfortable, but those kind of bomb plants at the end of the round, if you can still get them in, are a big deal. And Epic CS, I very want to quickly point out, actually, the op not even necessarily finding as much value. It was just all down to the AKs, all down to Ford Gogo's positioning and such. And now we're seeing an attempted, really aggressive push down mid. And yes, okay, Simi has sacrificed himself, but if you do notice, one player has gotten themselves down to the apps, the pistol, the engagement. Gato able to walk away with his life, just throws a Molotov to try and slow down at this pace for the side of the squad, but Epic CS still fumbling.
It is only a half buy, and they are finding a couple of kills with a 5-7, and they picked up AK-47. Oh, nice swing from Micah, but Moab is ready for it. Artini would love to get one more kill, but it's not gonna happen. Still finding 2 kills with a gun disadvantage. Not too bad, but do they have enough money for an AWP? I think Buttertrout does, and so does Artini.
Oh, we see it. Oh, we see it go to Micah as well. Micah and Simi, both at the moment, not been able to get their frags. Simi, though, has been, you know, kind of the setup. It actually seems for Epic CS's more aggressive style. Kind of, Simi will be the second entry, and, of course, the second entry usually a little bit slower. Usually gets spotted out on those kinds of angles, which we have seen. But now, Epic CS, I was about to say, you need to kind of pop off. You need to show that that investment into the AWP has worked out, and Micah has absolutely done that in spades. The opening frag, the first blood for Epic CS.
They need to be trading for each other, and I don't think it's going to be happening as I'm seeing Simi alone in B. This is a good smoke. It might be a bit too far behind, but no, it's fine. It will slow down the T's. HE comes in, tags Moab a little bit, and that's going to deter the T's completely for now. Look at the bomb already making their way all the way back to mid.
There's someone waiting. Surely there is someone waiting to try and prevent this push coming through. It's a very passive angle, though, from Mika. Yeah, he's got the AWP, but he's kind of, you know, playing around that kind of app swing. He's playing around that ladder side. He doesn't really want to overcommit just yet. We see 2 members from Ford Gogo just underneath, trying to bide their time as much as possible. But Epic CS, it's nice to see. Some teams are usually a little bit kind of nervous whenever they're 4 rounds down like this, particularly at the pace that Ford Gogo are playing. But Epic CS, they're holding their ground. They have faith in what their setups are, and we'll have to see if it pays off.
Nice smoke from Martini, gets the kill to Immortal. That's gonna be a perfect timing, and with the time running low, I don't know if Ford Gogo has time to even get the bomb on site anymore. Simi gets a nice double. Not checking Forest is a big mistake, and Gato will need to do like the cat, tail between his legs, and retreat to save the AK.
That's a big deal. That's exactly what you want from Epic CS there. You force the bomb. You know, that doesn't even get planted either. You force Gato to just kind of stay alive with the AK. And there's a little bit of a hunt going around here for Epic CS, but Gato, he's not gonna try and, you know, kind of count his lucky stars with the timing. He could have maybe swung out from the sandbags, got himself a pick, and you know, hurt Epic CS's economy. But when you're in that type of position, that one gun versus the potential one gun you might take away from Epic CS, far more valuable in the hands of the GoGo squad. So Epic CS able to get themselves onto the board. We'll see. Wax, and you mentioned it earlier about momentum. Can they convert this into something more?
Well, they started shooting for once, and that's a big turn up, because the first 4 rounds, it kind of looked like the Ford GoGo squad. Artini was the only one pulling his weight. Everybody else getting on the board. But speaking of Artini, he gets another opening, this time Gato. He saved the weapon only to give it away in the first 20 seconds of this round.
Very, very difficult, and all of a sudden, Epic CS, maybe those first couple of rounds, just a little bit of a warm-up, kind of understanding Ford GoGo squad's pace, and now the adaptations came through so far. Very, very clean. You see the Sag has essentially gotten all of that mid control, all of that space entirely for free. So GoGo squad's positioning has been kind of, you know, sussed out a little bit. Yes, okay, that palace area maybe not entirely sure of. Immortal's actually just lurking all there, but the rotates coming through. The footsteps could be heard. This timing from Sag here would absolutely be perfect, not only for the potential frag, which he does pick up, but the information's huge.
This is a very strange approach from Ford GoGo. It looked like they were trying to fake B, but the bomb was rotating towards B, and then they wasted the utility but didn't get on site. And now I think this is genuinely a save. Or it's rather, should be a save, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how quick, that's the thing, how quickly these kind of, you know, plans can fall apart, as you said, you know, not really sure about the rotate. Okay, Moab, at least.
Nice shot.
Yeah, you know, it's a nice consolation kill. Buttertrout, okay, does get the absolutely confidence to swing and backs it up, but Simi as well. Here we go. Yeah, I think it does come down to, as you said, that a little bit of a strange decision from Ford GoGo, and probably just a little bit of a miscommunication from them.
Yeah, I mean, this is great. I think we also get a timeout. Is that what I'm seeing?
That looks it to me. That looks it to me,
okay.
Which I'm very happy to see that. Some teams are very scared to use timeouts, and nice to know that they're not.
No, I love it. I think the timeout is good, especially after, to be honest, Ford GoGo kind of gave away the last 2 rounds. It's not necessarily that Epic CS won them. Definitely not the second one. So let's see how Ford GoGo is going to change it up into this one. They're gonna have an eco first because they did not manage to plant a bomb, which is probably the correct choice. You'd want to have enough money to play for the later portions of the first half.
They're gonna want to try and decide. You can see the Deagle coming through here, and especially actually surprisingly enough, it's not Pingu that picks up the Deagle, at least not necessarily. He's more going, yeah, for P250s and such, just kind of more standard issue. Moab on to kind of go for that kind of clutch Deagle, which, to be fair, Waxon, you were complimenting his aim. Yes, it was to the back of, I believe it was Micah's head, but still, headshot to headshot, so we'll see if they can convert that.
Okay, the time has resumed, and I want to see Micah. He's got the AWP, second lowest damage per round on his team. So let's see if he can start turning it up, and maybe with a couple of kills versus the eco, he could boost his confidence up and, you know, get ready for the future gun rounds.
There's a lot of kind of ifs, ands, or buts. A lot actually riding on this round here. Epic CS, if they do find themselves losing even a gun or two, like Buttertrout and Schemy, yes, okay, their economy very, very clean, but that's a big deal there. A big opening frag for Moab here. And as I said, it's not all said and done here. Ford GoGo just walking onto the site, getting that bomb down. An excellent double kill returned for the Epic CS squad. And Ford GoGo, I really like this kind of immediate retreat they've got. It has given quite a bit of space for Epic CS, and, you know, the guns don't really favor Ford GoGo, but we'll see if they can make magic happen.
Well, they got a bomb down, and I think that's pretty big victory for the pistol right that they had in this round. They've given themselves a boost in finances, and the bigger question is, are Ford Gogo going to match up with an AWP for themselves?
I'd like to see it. Yeah, there it is. I was gonna say I'd like to see it, and we have been seeing like those really kind of set flashbangs and the set smoke plays kind of down mid. The smoke's not actually as much. They've been a little bit off, kind of off angles. That they've not just been covering that window angle, which we do see so commonly. So maybe a little bit of a AWP kind of an off. Maybe we're about to see, and based on the utility being thrown in the mid, yes, it's been called by Epic CS, and the HE nade followed by the shot from Micah is an excellent start for Epic CS.
Takes Pingo out, and Pingo's been silenced, by the way. He was up 7 kills in the second round. Time has been passing. We are all the way in round 8. He has no more saying in it, and yet to find anything else, as he's still leading the score for his squad, but kind of falling behind. And now for the Gogo, they have a bit of control of mid and one player in A Palace, but with Micah finding another kill, I gotta ask, there's a few smokes left, but is it even worth it to try to go for this round anymore? Or maybe consider yet another save? Okay, well, if Micah gives away his life, then maybe you can go for it, but...
A little bit of a... Maybe expecting Saj to be able to back him up there, but the molly very much set up through. Nick, though, taking quite a bit of damage, returning, though, a beautiful shot onto Buttertrout's head. And you were saying this, Wax, and you very quickly at one point, you did that kind of... that lower tier kind of amateur CS, but it creates moments like this. It creates very uncertain. Yes, exactly. It gives you hope that, you know, you cannot just guarantee that a round is going to go the way. Oh my days, you cannot guarantee the way a round is going to go, especially if Simi just jumps through a smoke like that, and now the bomb is down.
He just needs to throw the HE. Oh, it doesn't matter. He's going to use the gun. Now got to go for the HE, and Nick has to fall away. It's going to die to Simi before the HE explodes, and Epic CS bringing it back to an even. And I want to go back to my question since, well, before we went into the pistols, which side is favored on Mirage? And personally, I personally enjoy playing CT side Mirage more. Honestly, I enjoy playing CT side on most maps in the pool, but that's also because I don't play with a squad, right? I play like solo with a bunch of strangers. So yeah, I mean, what do you think about that?
See, that's right. So Counter-Strike, while a phenomenal game of mine that I absolutely adore, wasn't my first shooter. I was kind of more Halo and stuff initially. So very much kind of the holding W, just kind of running in, taking the space was always how I played my shooters. It was how I grew up. So honestly, actually, Waxon, I'm the opposite side of you. I do enjoy the T side a bit more. I like being that bit more proactive. I like being able to kind of get those setups a little bit more. But as you said, that's really difficult whenever you're kind of playing on your own, and CT gives you that little bit more space to kind of, you know, get those setup plays. You don't have to be as worried about getting the utility value, especially if you're, you know, Micah in that scenario doesn't quite land a shot. Buttertrout though is position. Oh my days!
Wow, they're all falling. The smoke setup was very nice from Ford Gogo squad, which I think I want them to go back to it a bit more often. But the difficulty with this, and people will learn the more they play the game, if you have such a setup with smokes, but you throw it too early in the round, the CTs will have plenty of utility to counteract you, and that's what we saw. This was a kind of a rush with smokes play, but whereas Ford Gogo should have thrown a few flashes in mid, a spread around the map, and then maybe like at 50-second mark, go for that plane A.
This is a big deal because what we're actually saying, you pointed out, Waxon, already in terms of, you know, kind of how we're seeing the difference from Ford Gogo here. Okay, Moab, okay, Moab. Meanwhile, meanwhile, in mid, 2 people have just been scouted out, quite figuratively and quite literally. But you did point out, you know, in terms of those initial frags like Pingu and such being a big player. But now Ford Gogo, the kind of holding W down, it's not working for them. The utility not quite as finding as much value or space for them as they'd wish, and Epic CS seem to have adapted around that.
I mean, if Moab has a couple more of these scout shots in him, this round could go back to Ford Gogo. I forgot to mention Epic CS actually leading for the first time this half. But maybe for not too long, as I like this pause for Ford Gogo. They've noticed that Epic CS is getting impatient when they have the player advantage, so they're waiting to see if they're going to get someone into their crosshairs. Of course, there's still Galils and AKs as well, but the read is perfect. They're going towards B, and Simi, He's going to be the sole player standing in short. He turns around. Moab is a bit too slow behind him, so he will have the chance to fight. Nick crosses, doesn't get tagged, and he gets into the kitchen. Headphones on. Artini, hello?
Yeah, Artini, maybe cooking a bit too loud. Maybe the pans, the sizzling there in the kitchen a little bit too loud. But yeah, just not really getting the information that he maybe should have had, and he will pay dearly with his life because of it now. Butter Trout all on his own, only 10 HP. Pingu and Immortal looking very healthy, all things considered. It is an AK though. Only 2 headshots really required between the difference. But when you've got that crossfire set up, the way Ford Gogo are playing, I was initially concerned, Waxon, that we were maybe going to see a a pretty one-sided match.
The first 4 rounds, I was like, my goodness, what did we sign up for? These guys, how did he make it to the final? But no. They've awakened. Well, and by they, I mean everybody but Pingu, who has yet to find another
He's
kill.
went back to sleep.
Yeah. Pingu is like, I guess that's just what penguins do, right? They hibernate and then they waddle.
And sometimes they get flashbang by their players, or they lose a member of the pack. Micah has been... Waxon, you asked to see Micah in a dominant position, and all of a sudden, that op has not really missed a shot.
And here we go again.
Do it again?
I think, seeing what Moab did with the scout, and seeing how Pingu is still taking his time to find some success, maybe just give him the op.
You know what? If you could hit those shots with a scout, you could do it with the offense. Yeah, I mean, it's a bit less of a kind of risk reward for it. You've got that guarantee. Oh, but speaking of a risk reward, a big miss. I mean, let's face it, 5 versus 1, it's hardly going to be the difference, but you still want to be able to do that economy damage where you can. And all of a sudden, we're in the penultimate round. We're in the last round of the half. Sorry.
This feels like my life. I'm struggling so much to have one successful round. We win with scouts, and then we just get destroyed when we got weapons.
The momentum comes through, and it does wonders for you. You mentioned it yourself, and I mean, literally living up to the promise itself. Mag 10 at that range. We'll see if it works out. Gato just kind of actually forcing all of this space, all of this control through. Micah finally being a little bit upset there with the off. The HE grenade is gone. That was pretty sick. Pingu now alive with the space with the AWP, finds a shot. Could this be the difference?
It could be. They've got the player advantage. Pingu finally getting something. Moab flying about. They are playing together 3 top mid, but if Immortal could find some information in B, it's open, but they didn't really correct it. Immortal falls back. They could walk into a stack on A.
The smoke is just, I think, barely good enough.
Oh, they're reading it well.
Yeah, they've got that covered down. Artini, though, does get at least traded out. Moab, a very quick one. Yeah, he's got himself the bomb, and actually the regroup onto apps. Ford Gogo here. The man advantage, the positions here. This could be an equalized half.
Simi, he still has a good position, and Buttertrout is here. The bomb is going down. No, it's not. As Simi swings in, gets the kill, Pingu gets the trade, and now it's a 1 versus 1. Pingu with 4 HP, Simi with 7. Who's gonna win? AWP versus A4, and the A4 prevails as the Glock cannot connect, and Epic CS win at the half.
From what a 0-4 deficit to a 7-5 half, certainly proving themselves to be quite a bit of an epic CS. Now, if you look at the way though that this kind of kill feed is spread out, Ford Gogo all very equalized. Meanwhile, there's kind of a clear, 2 winners for the side of Epic CS here. A lot of 2 people in particular really carrying their weight. Artini kind of made a name for himself in those pistol rounds, but it was Micah. Once that AWP started coming online in that mid window, Ford Gogo didn't really seem to be able to counter it. See if that's the case now.
It's a slow round. I like it. Smoke will come in. It's just the first and only one that will be coming through. And now they're exploding onto the site. Connector up high. You gotta be careful, but Ticket gets killed. Moab and Nick get a few. Moab stand his ground, still alive, but Simi will jump on site and find a second. 3 versus 3, and a bomb will get planted.
I like that push through. Try to get onto the CT side, see if there's any rotates from B. Of course, we can see on the map, not at all, but there is a flank that you maybe need to be a bit concerned about. Immortal kind of had an early showing, a very scary one at that, and then kind of maybe fell off. We'll see if he can find himself the back. Yeah, those shots a little bit rough. Immortal, though, with a flank. There he is.
Simi, element of surprise, did not give away his position, stands his ground. They're checking. First headshot comes through. Second, he needs to stay alive. You don't want to fight, and he gets overwhelmed by the Glock picked up by Nick. And 2 doubles will allow Ford Gogo to win the second pistol of this game.
I mean, there you go. The fuse kit not needed, just sort out. And that looks so confident from Epic CS. And then you mentioned it, Wax and Pingu's, just the shots, you know, took a little bit to find their mark, but they did eventually. And it really does just kind of pivot now. In my opinion, I'm really excited to see how this goes through from Ford Gogo, as everyone there, you know, there's 3 kills difference between kind of the top frag and the bottom frag. Meanwhile, there's a big 9 kill spread between Simi and Sag here. So we'll see the difference between kind of a Hail Mary 1 or 2 players that can absolutely focus as heroes versus a more kind of cohesive team overall.
Let's see how Epic CS want to use these MAC-10s. They are going for the same setup as the pistols, apparently.
Maybe what doesn't. Oh, maybe, yeah, maybe what doesn't, what isn't broken. Maybe you don't need to fix. That's a lot of utility raining down on the A site, though. Sag taking that fight a little bit early could have paid dearly, especially with the buy that Ford Gogo currently have, but able to walk away with his life.
Oh, look at that smoke dissipates, and now it's a huge shooting galore just outside of connector. It's a 1-for-1, and Epic CS, they have the advantage just slightly. First smoke dissipates. Nick wants to find an angle, but the Galil of Artini actually prevails first. MAC-10 dropping sandwich, finds one from Ping. It's actually the UMP. Galil double, triple from Artini. It's a semi-ace going for the full ace, but Bottom Trout is gonna take that one away from his teammate, but a round is a round.
So far, that's a big round 8 number as well for Epic CS, able to get the momentum on their side, starting to get that confidence really shining through. And I mean, here we go. This is the difference between, are you more comfortable on that CT or on that T side? And Epic CS, they are managing to kind of force the pace, play a pace that Ford Gogo were similarly playing, but Ford Gogo at the moment at least not quite able to adapt around the pace, not quite able to match the way Epic CS had. We'll see if that's going to be a prevalent factor, as there's already quite an aggressive push through this mid to start us off.
It's a bit slow, unless Pingo can do some magic with a USP. Gato finds a single kill. The push will be a bit too slow, but Epic CS will win the round as expected, looking at the weaponry.
Cooking. Yeah, kitchen cookout. One would be surprised. Nick, though, unfortunately, the app's closed for business. No one quite getting it. Oh, but you see, yeah, okay, I was going to say, did Butter try to see it? And he does. He sees the backpack. He sees the little inch of the player model towards Immortal. Moab falls in kitchen, and oh, wow, okay, he's not going to get pushed. I guess leaving him alive for a pistol, if you want to save it, that's worse than stay alive. Okay, Butter right now, he wants that frag. Might pay for his life. Ooh. Okay.
Nah, he's fine.
He's fine.
Any ops? Not enough money for the CTs. They have to go for the double eco. Nick will get an MP9.
I mean, this is I've always enjoyed watching the kind of CT sides play those kind of the MP9s, like even the Novas and such. The Nova is a bit of a meme weapon, of course, but you know, if you're going to be playing against people that have to run into you, you know, you can force those closer angles quite a bit easily without too much of a concern. So I like that adaptation from Ford Gogo. We'll see if it works out for them, but Epic CS not wanting to meet them at these closer angles, wanting to try and do these long-range engagements towards mid. Meanwhile, though, there's a big flank going on here, an absolutely massive one from Nick. Let him go.
Let's see if it's gonna be faster than the first one. He needs to get his running shoes on.
Oh, here we go.
Ooh, the timing.
Bomb's still stuck down in mid, though. So Epic CS don't really move from mid until they get that picked up. Now they do. Oh, at that range. Okay, able to pick up the frag, but loses immediately, yeah. Oh.
Okay. Well, Tango is in short. He's quite close with the CZ, but Martini doesn't care.
switching to your secondary is always faster than reloading. We've all been taught that. We've all heard that quite some time, and we've seen that pay off. And yeah, Epic CS, I mean, they seem to be kind of favoring more my style of just kind of that really aggressive T side. I don't think they've dropped around since this changeover has came through. No, apologies, the pistol. But other than that, Epic CS are absolutely on a tear on this T side. They've got the executes down. They've got the kind of pacing all control. The utilities even working out for them. Ford Gogo just looking a little bit lost.
A little bit is an understatement. Maspingo will open things up and get some confidence for his team, and that's going to be a nice elaborate kill from Nick, taking Simi out, and with a two-player advantage. Ooh, even a bit of a spray down for confidence boost towards Nick.
I mean, there's a decent bit of money on the line here for your chosen charities. If that's what you need to kind of build yourself that mental, kind of get yourself that confidence back up, then absolutely you do you. Artini, though, now stuck behind the boxes in mid. Bomb stuck kind of with him as well. He's got a lot of angles that he has to fight, and he's trying to currently be bailed out by the rest of his team. He's managed to pick up the bomb, manages to get the disengage. Still a minute on the clock, and plenty of options for the team, for the remaining members of Epic CS to work with.
They are rerouting currently. It's going to be a long one, but Ford Gogo seem to be standing around with two players in B. So it will be a fairly even fight, but they don't have any smokes left to take over the A bomb site, so that is going to be very difficult.
You've got quite a deadly crossfire as well set up from jungle and underneath Palace in this hell angle. You've got this set up here that is Moab and Gato just kind of ready for it. The remaining utility, as you said, Waxton, is now going to go through. The corner is cleared. It's an excellent shot. Gato now trying to hold his own from the stairs. Able to pick up one. Gets pushed while reloading. Can Artini finds one? The adjustments there.
The ball's down at least. And he's going to be taken out. Ford Gogo squad win the round, and they manage to save 3 rifles into the next one. Well, 2 rifles and an AWP, so that's going to be the bigger victory, actually, than the round itself. If they can string a couple of round victories in a row here, their economy is going to look healthier and healthier, as they do need the money to start a proper comeback here.
I mean, we could see history repeat itself from that first half, Waxon. We looked at it as a 4-0 split and thought that maybe things had already been decided. Now this time Epic CS running away with it. Ford Gogo managed to just kind of dig their heels in, try and get themselves set up. AWP bot for Pingu. We'll see if this will be his redemption. Can he do what Maiko was doing on that half? Only time will tell. As yet again, this push towards mid, this split towards B. We'll see if it pays off.
Drop, Moab, spots one. His teammate takes first contact. Everybody's still standing, but a lot of damage being traded between the 4 players. Moab gets the opening as he gets taken out. Immortal, AK-47 in hand. Needs to find a couple. He's getting smoked off the angle, and he's gonna give up the position as Micah pushed in, boosted in balcony, gets a double kill in kitchen with a MAC-10, and now this retake is improbable for Ford Gogo. Immortal still really trying to find something here, but he's getting mollied off the angle. Pushed back. Gato is still coming in and gets killed by Micah, who went back to balcony. Jump down in, misses the op shot, but it might be a bit too late for Immortal to even consider it. He does have a defuse kit, and he seems curious. Time is ticking. Needs to go if he wants to right now. You can't waste any more time. Swings out and loses the duel versus Sag. Epic CS one step closer to winning the first map.
Could have been just, you know, that difference of a couple, you know, milliseconds there could have been the difference between, you know, just an opportune swing for Ford Gogo to be able to get themselves that closer to equalize. It will not be the case. And I mean, yeah, when you've got Artini rocking currently at 22-9, being backed up by Skimmy on that kind of 15-8, it's really difficult to. You've got 2 big star players here that you need to eliminate. One, I imagine Ford Gogo would be able to deal with. We've seen them do it before, but 2 might be a touch too far. And okay, Ford Gogo, it works well.
And now,
it's incredibly well.
It's the 2 star players, 2 versus 5. They managed to find the first one.
Sure.
You can't lose this round. You can't afford them to do it.
Surely.
They're not even quiet. They're loud, but are they going to clear underneath? They got an incendiary. Reaches for Immortal. He is not immortal enough. Actually, the fire doesn't spread because it's only an incendiary, but the AWP of Pingo is there. It's steady, and it's finally ready to get some kills.
Okay, Pingu. I mean, maybe could have asked for those shots a little bit earlier on, but you know what? If you needed that time to warm up, I'm sure if you keep landing shots like that, you will be able to bring at least an equalized scoreline, if not an actual victory for the Ford Go-Go squad. Those were incredible shots, incredible flicks, and yeah, I mean, we said about the 2-star players, but even those stars can only burn as bright as the hydrogen that lets them generate, and now the momentum coming through, the speed just all the way back for Epic CS here. But Ford Go-Go, they seem confident. The setups, the positions are a little bit different. Oh my day!
Again, Micah with a Mactin. He got a double last round, and now he's opening up the map. Nick spraying down like me when I first bought a mouse. And now it's a 4 versus 5. Immortal needs to get more than one, but he only finds the first one. We almost got a team shot from Pingo with the op. But Epic CS players will get a bomb down. They are, most of them, below half HP. Smoke dissipates, can't find anything.
There's a gap now between the two. Gato is able to get himself up onto those stairs. Meanwhile, Pingu trying to get that kind of push back, that position all the way towards the CT side. It's a beautiful shot from Gato, but there's a lot more to do. That's certainly a start. But as the bomb is already ticking down, the defuse kit is necessary. Pingu is... Oh my... Okay! The awareness is not there. He finds it. How do you do that?
Confidence. That's what Ford Go-Go's been missing for the last, 12 rounds, and it's good to finally see them coming alone and, you know, to terms with themselves. Maybe they got over the nerves of being in the grand final, and they're like, yes, this is what we've been playing for.
This is the goal. This is what we have wanted to do since the start, and let's see it through to the very end. I like that momentum, I like that mentality. And now, as you'd mentioned at Wax, and you know, if Ford Go-Go were able to do that once or twice, they could really cripple the economy of Epic CS, and that's exactly what's happened. Artini attempting with a Tech 9 and a Dream, but Pingu will absolutely shut himself down in the yeah, it's difficult to take those gunfights at those types of ranges with that economic disadvantage. So Ford Go-Go playing these angles well and looking to add a 10th to the board. Oh my god.
So look at it, like Immortal shooting left, right, and center. Gato as well, Pingu. This is what we want to see from them, and it's round 23 right now. 22 rather, sorry. And the money's still not looking hot for Epic CS. A couple of Galils, no money for an AWP. Ford Go-Go need to not let this one slip out of their hand, because despite being a one round down, I think the momentum has shifted in their favor.
Yeah, right. It has shifted, and they really want to keep hold of this now. They've seemed to have kind of understood how Epic CS want to play, and honestly, Epic CS, there's a little bit of floundering, may be too harsh a term, but there seems to be a little bit less cohesion, a little bit more panic in them. That's a beautiful shot from Martini, though, to at least open up the set, and we'll see if they can convert off the back of that, because that's a big player for Ford Go-Go to lose.
But they're heading towards B, and that's the perfect read. Immortal is alone. And he's not going to find a single one. Gets shot into the side by Sag, and that's going to open up the map. For Go-Go, I think the correct call here is you save the op, and you send Moab and Nick to try to damage the economy of Epic CS. Never mind.
Or you do that. Oh.
That's beautiful, but Gato's about to get caught through the smoke. I say that. They're playing around each other. It's a ring around the rosy. He jumps on side. There's the player in the kitchen behind him. They turn around and kill him. This is a disaster. Sag. He needs to find more, but Artini and Micah stand their ground, and they're standing tall on top of Ford Go-Go. Nick running out of opportunities, and Epic CS will now have 2 map points.
Ford Go-Go dig deep into these last couple of rounds here. Potentially this last one. We can see the buys coming through. Yes, okay, the economy for the most part, everyone's able to buy up. The utilities all there. Smokes, the incendiaries, the lot. At least Ford Go-Go have quite a amount to work with. And in fact, actually, I adore this use of a timeout, because either way, Epic CS are, you know, they'll either work around what Ford Go-Go do this round, or they just walk away with a victory.
They have the op. They picked it up last round. And they're wondering, is Pingo going to have enough money for an AWP? Of course, we know he does. But are we going to contest him? Where is he even going to play? That is the big question.
Now the timer down. The timer ticks down already. Seems like a very, very short halftime there. A very short timeout for the teams through, and Micah, he manages to find that ever so pivotal opening frag. How aggressive, like the setup there. Look at where Pingu dies. He tried to make something happen. Instead, he just crumbles. Gato getting the feats. He's actually shot out from under him through the smoke. Bartrout, meanwhile, able to pick up another pivotal frag. This could already be the end before it even really began.
It will have to be an immense ask from Gato and Nick to do this, but they will have to commit. Gato, let's see his parkour skills. Oh, going for the small one, but he's awaited right there as smoke dissipates. Right there, swinging out. Nice attempt, but not enough. And now Nick with the AWP jumps in, gets destroyed, and Epic CS win the first map, Dante, and 13-10. Wow.
Despite the scoreline, you know, like 13-10, like that looks pretty close. I don't believe, Waxon, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, none of the rounds were particularly close. And maybe one or two clutches, but for the most part it was 3 or 4 players alive for the winning team at either side. It was very dominant.
It was very strange. Like there was not that, it wasn't as even as we thought it would be, because you know it was 4-0. It was like, oh wow, Go are just gonna win, and then the next few rounds looked a bit more back and forth, but in the end it was the one team show. And yeah, you're 100% correct. You look at the score of 13-10, it was a hard fought battle. I'm not sure that was the case actually. Epic CS kind of, you know, avenging their fellow teammates in this first map of the grand finals.
I mean, hey, refrags, if they're there, if you've got the setups, I mean, utility's all good. It's all well and good. And yes, some of the best players in the world use the utility absolutely phenomenally. You don't need to have the greatest aim, but it turns out that if you've got that aim to back it up and you do play around your teammates a little bit well, yeah, the utility a bit less of a factor. And I think that's actually the difference. I think Ford Gogo using the utility a bit better, but CS are using each other a bit better.
Absolutely. And now, we don't know what the second map will be, but I hope the spirits are high as we are getting info right now. When you just bleep, blop, blop, blop. What is the second map?
What do we got?
We're going to be getting nuked, and hopefully that's not going to be Gogo getting nuked in this grand final, and Epic CS will be actually, you know, allowing them to play a bit more. And, you know, depending who starts on the CT side, this could tell a lot about what we have to expect for the better portion of the nuke, as if Gogo manages to win nuke, we will be going to the deciding of Dust 2. And I gotta ask you, Dante, is this what you predicted?
We were, you know what? Best 2 out of 3. It's okay. The best 2 out of 3. If that's what the teams need, then that's what I need, and that's what I got, ladies and gentlemen. The third map, I believe my prediction was, I think I mistakenly said overpass, or I said cash. I think cash, which isn't even in the map pool, and then you corrected me, and then I went to overpass. So we managed to get 2 out of 3 Mirage Nuke, but Dust 2, sadly, I can't believe I kind of omitted Dust 2, but maybe being a bit optimistic there, just because it is such a common map to see that, to be honest, I love me a bit of variety.
Yes, but with that being said, I think we will send it to a few minutes break, Dante, and then we will return with the second map and, you know, some more of our pre-game analysis. Oh,
Hello,
just became
hello.
taller.
Oh, you actually did, yeah. I noticed that. Yeah, he's trying to show me up. I mean, much taller than me in terms of it. I know it's very sad. It's very sad. But ladies and gentlemen, what is not sad is the fact we are going smoothly into map number 2 here. So we did just come off of we were saying just beforehand there, just before we cut to the break, it was while a close scoreline, 13-10, maybe the rounds themselves not necessarily so close in between Epic CS and 4GoGo. And now we move on to Nuke. Always a tentative map, shall we say? Maybe a little bit kind of concerning for a lot of teams just because of how Nuke can be played.
Yes, it's also one of those maps where, like, historically it's very CT sided, but every once in a blue moon you get a team just steamrolling the others from the T side. So I think it will depend more on how the players react to this early defeat, right? And we've spoken about the fact that during the bracket I'm looking right now, Epic CS and 4GoGo, neither of them two have played a whole best of 3 series. So 4GoGo need to start going for the reverse sweep as we are getting ready to jump into second map of Nuke. But just I gotta say, I wonder how does 4GoGo feel right now, because looking at their first encounter right now, they are down 3-0 in maps versus Epic CS.
It's a big, big difficulty for them, but hey, you know what? Underdog stories have happened time and time again, and sometimes from the unlikeliest of squads there. And maybe though, Pingu needing half of his HP bar to kind of, you know, help his team out as Epic CS just steamroll out of Hot Moab at least. Holding it through, and actually, the sides have been swapped already. The teams are happy just to already change between the attack and the defense, and oh my days, okay. Both teams seem ready for that halftime side swap already.
I'm gonna go on a limb and just say that I think Epic CS chose the map.
Yep.
Usually the way this works, the team that chooses allows the opponent to choose sides, and more often than not, the teams will choose CT side, so Ford GoGo chose to start on the CT side of Nuke.
Yeah. We'll see if it works out for them, to be honest. The way Epic CS are playing, this pace is... I mean, the pace in... okay, well, the pace is now being matched by Ford GoGo squad. The pace in Mirage was pretty sharp, but this is a whole different game altogether, and it seems both teams are willing to play at this electric pace.
Ford GoGo, they have the player advantage. You picked up a Galil. Do they have any defuse kit? The answer is no. Legato getting a lot of damage done onto Bottertrout. Moab elsewhere takes out Artini, the high skill player on Mirage. And now the time is running low. Immortal gets the kill. Can they get onto the bomb safely? What a swing from Immortal, my God.
All right.
Wow.
Sure enough, yeah. If you want to go back to back, I mean, for anyone that did miss map 1, obviously go back and check it out. But it was Epic CS to get a quick kind of 4-0 just based off of that momentum. Ford GoGo not wanting to see him replicated here, immediately answering back with a round of their own.
I don't even know what to say. This is an absolute statement, to say the least. When it comes from Ford GoGo saying, you know what, we lost the first pistol rounds so far in the series, but we're not gonna give it up, as we're gonna win the second round right away, because winning every round, as many rounds as possible on the CT side of Nuke is crucial. And now Epic CS with all the Galils, they're gonna be a shooting target practice for Ford GoGo.
Saj living up to his name, just been picked up there. Moab, though, maybe has been timing around there. Pingu still with the awareness, able to get the 180 flash onto Garage there. Nick, meanwhile, has actually already done a big show up for Ford GoGo. He got that big opening kill with the Nova in the previous round, which kind of was the beginning of Epic CS's demise for that particular round. And now the push through from Trophy. Artini and Buttertrout trying their best, but with very little to work with. Only the pistols in hand. I believe it's maybe a consolation kill at most, unless the timing is an absolute godsend here. Gato is going to swing. The quick scope comes through. It's a nice shot.
Yeah, I mean, it is versus pistol, so it's just more for his confidence. But
yeah,
shall we speak about this change up of Gato picking up the op?
You know what? We absolutely should, because yeah, Pingu had a dry spell at the start of Mirage, started picking up a little bit by the end, but we did see that Mika was very confident on that AWP right from the start, getting it changed over to Gato, who looks warmed up, who looks ready for it. Who knows, maybe there was a bit of Pingu wanting to try out the AWP. Maybe it's actually Gato's gun. Maybe it's Gato's world to play in, and Pingu just very quickly, or very briefly, I should say, inhabited it.
He's keeping on to it. He's not giving it back. Gato says, we've had enough. We gotta change it up, guys. I've got to spawn for ramp. Sadly, nobody's going to be contesting him, as we got 5 players outside, with 1 dropping from silo already. Bottertrout. Interesting smoke setup. Sprayed out for the smoke. Simi takes a ton of damage and just done. Look at Moab and Pingu. Oh. Absolute madmen. The duo just obliterating Sedge, and Pingu continuing his success, and maybe that's why they swapped it out. Maybe it's not that Gato feels better with the op. Maybe Pingu just doesn't want the burden of having the heavy gun on him.
I mean, anyone that has played with the AWP basically at any rank, maybe unless you are a very ironclad kind of. Well, okay. Artini is not an ironclad mental at all because Gato has just put a 50 caliber round through his head. A flawless for Ford Gogo. I mean, this is already, yes, okay. We kind of said the same thing about Mirage, but Ford Gogo replicating the Epic CS showcase from Mirage, where it seems that basically no one is dying. You know, I think that's 2 flawlesses back to back for Ford Gogo, or at the very least 4 men standing. Saj the only person with a positive KD, and it's not by much.
They had a 4-0 on the Mirage, beginning of Mirage. 3-1 now, potentially a 4-1, as I'm looking at the Epic CS money and it's not there. Can Ford Gogo actually amount to more than what they have done on the first map?
I mean, if they can, we move on to Dust 2 and it comes through, then goes to that deciding map. But so far, yeah, Ford Gogo, just a completely different team on this map, looking so much more confident. A little bit overconfidence there from Gato. Manages to get the first pick and then does kind of just dive in, give himself away. Meanwhile, Nick, an aggressive first 3, but Skimmy! Oh, it's a shame we cut away from that because that was Nick's back, completely open season, and the 180 is able to find its mark. So now, with a man disadvantage, the bomb post-plant scenario here, is it possible? Oh.
It's possible, but not probable as Mawab. Wow. Back-to-back headshots, and now they need to retrieve the AWP, and Pingo will find it in a matter of moments.
You said, Wax, and 4-1 now. The Ford Gogo squad absolutely just looking alive, and the economy now for Epic CS. Yeah, you've got the AKs and such, but it's difficult taking that outside angle. There's some angles in Nuke that are very reliant on either having that AWP or pretty flawless utility management. And as kind of alluded to in Mirage, Ford Gogo seem to be the ones more comfortable with the utility. Epic CS far more comfortable just to work off of each other, these refrags and the positions and such. We'll see if that'll be the case. Gato not learning from his mistakes. Still actually, he's re-swinging.
He's unstoppable. He's holding it. He's got the chance. He's got to get it. He's got to get the second one. Finally gets taken out as Immortal dies in the process, and Simi finds a kill onto Nick. Pingo and Moab. Player disadvantage as the back and forth in ramp ends up going in favor of the T's. And I was asking the 4-1, can they hold on to it? It doesn't seem likely. Moab opens the door, swings out, gets the first headshot. He found a couple earlier in the half, but this is not going to be enough for round number 6.
Gato, I believe, is getting a bit overconfident there, a bit overzealous. Like, the re-swings, don't get me wrong, but you need to be able to hit those shots, and they were not the most complicated shots to hit. You know, it was very feasible there for Ford Gogo squad to be up 5-1 off the back of that, and Immortal having to bail Gato out, or at the very least create that bit more space for him, ends up both of them sacrificing their lives, which is enough for Epic CS to kind of turn the tides. And now, speaking of turning the tides, it's this fight, this reimagining of the kind of opening rounds just towards Hut. HE grenade from Skimmy goes a little bit awry, doesn't manage to cover the space that it so requires, and now it's just gunfire back and forth, and so far no clear winners as of yet.
Finally, a bit of a pause after this extensive, extreme, oh, never mind. It was a 6-second pause, and then Moab died.
That's enough. For the pace that this map started off at, that's actually quite a lull.
Pingo, whoa. Pingo is on silo.
Can he do anything with it, though?
Well,
I don't know how he's done it.
No, there was a bug. There was a bug. Never mind. He's not on silo. Never mind.
I was going to say, I was like, swear he was on Hut, but I didn't want to argue. You know far more. Don't worry. There it is. But well, what's currently bugging out right now is Artini coming through, manages to get the shots and the fight towards the A site, gets that cleared out. Nick and Gato. I mean, the health advantage here, you know, you've got 2 fully healthed up members, armor and Kevlar and helmets to boot. Not too much, though, in the way. Well, I'll say Nick's got a fair bit of utility to work with Gato, though. very much just his mechanics and very little else. But depending how this gunfight goes, could be the difference between a 5-2 and a 4-3. And Artini, I believe, wants to make it very much that 4-3.
Gato swings into the crosshair, and you are exactly correct, Dante. 4-3, and the money's still gonna be there for Ford Gogo because they won those back-to-back flawless rounds that you mentioned earlier in the half. But are they gonna be able to stop Epic CS's resurgence?
If they're not able to this round, would love to see the timeouts. Would love to see a timeout come through because we're seeing, again, a very equalized scoreline here. I was going to say, maybe not reflective of Mirage as such, but if Epic CS can get one more, then it will be exactly the same thing. Not exactly, you know, the same. We didn't get to the destination the same way, but the destination is the same either way. And Skivvy, a beautiful shot on the Gato. Gato doesn't have any backup. Gato went from, you know, the absolute shining star of Ford Gogo. His light's been snuffed out and no one seems to be able to back him up.
Bingo gets one. Nick finds a double. Health disadvantage, the bomb is dropped, but Immortal has a perfect timing and now he has a player behind him. Can he turn around in time? The answer is no. Nick, I think he's going for the whole wraparound. Is Micah going to expect it? I don't think he will. Last he knew of Nick was deep in radio.
Getting that bomb down as early as he did. Oh! The outline. Johnny!
Oh my god.
And like a literal pixel between the two of them there. You could not ask for a closer or a tighter angle, but it just barely works out in Mika's favor. It's enough for an equalized scoreline. Heartbreaking for the Ford Gogo squad, but a resurgence online for Epic CS.
It's so tough. Like, if Ford Gogo could play the same way they play in the first 5 rounds of the maps, they would be the best team in the world.
Consistency, it's a tough thing. I mean, teams dedicate, as we all know. Anyone that's watched, you know, professional teams, tens of thousands of hours committed to this game to try and do every little nuance as committed, as clean, as absolutely concise as that. Okay, Immortal.
Oh, the timing here from Artini. Oh, never mind. They're blocking into each other. Who's going to realize it first? I think Artini is aware of what just happened, but he will reposition himself behind the vent.
Meanwhile, Hut being absolutely given up, being absolutely looked after by Pingu and Gato, all the way kind of on his own here.
Timing.
It's going
to be tough for him to find something that who's holding the vent. Doesn't get the first kill. He has to throw the vent, but Pingu, this is only allowing Simi to be baited in. Swing out, and it's gonna be a double from Pingu. 5-4 for Gogo, barely managed to maintain their lead.
Surely they're able to capitalize off of this 6-4. It would be incredible to see an equalized half, or a pretty close to equalized half. Mirage, I believe, ended the 7-5 towards Epic CS. So if Ford Gogo could do the same on their map pick, again, every round that kind of goes this way, or every round that's kind of back and forth, you know, closer and closer to potential Dust 2, and that's exactly what Ford Gogo are looking to try and do here with these engagements. A full outside commit from Epic CS, the utility being nothing off the back of it.
Butterchild gets caught. Look at Saj though, he had a timing and he's gonna catch an easy kill onto Mawab. Gato, only good for one. Immortal and Pingu, they will have to clutch again. Pingu, ooh, gets shot in the back of the head. Switches to smoke, gets turned around, gets the kill, but yes, he's not gonna expect the second. That was beautiful to watch though. Shout out to the observer.
That was clean. That was absolutely clean. And now Skivvy stuck in a vent. Unsure where he wants to go, unsure where he can really be safe. But Immortal is so far away from this A site here, Simi. Trying to clear all the angles, has the backup of Artini, who still doing very, very solidly for his team, but not quite the dominant performance we've seen in Mirage just yet. The bomb about to go down. Immortal about to be informed of the position of at least one member of Epic CS. It would be a hell of a clutch to manage it, and that's exactly what is expected of him now.
I'm looking at the money. It's risky, but if he does manage to clutch it, Epic CS will also be struggling. Has a lot of utility, goes for the first HE. I think he spotted something. Now he did, and Artini will double up with Simi. Instant headshot, 5-hole. And Ford Gogo probably gonna go for a half buy here.
Half buy. No timeout. No timeout. Okay. Actually, very surprising to see that, honestly. I would have thought we'd at least see one, especially as we get equalized here. Maybe not wanting the timeout when the economy's not so hot. Sometimes teams do kind of, you know, get that information only for
the next one. Yeah.
To kind of forget it. So we'll see if that works out for them. We'll see if the decision comes through as Trophy. Already engagement 1-for-1. HE grenade lands at the feet and Immortal falls because of it.
Moab.
Ooh.
Up close, gets a second. Can he pick up the AK? He is isolated in the corner and is not gonna get away.
Quiet Fregato over here. Meanwhile, on a completely different side of the universe, sadly Fregato with only a 5-7 to work with here. I think it is just maybe get a consolation kill. Maybe pick up a gun and run away, but honestly, with the economy the way it is, I think Gato just wants to try and get a frag and die.
He could save an AK if he finds it.
Tough find. Tough find, especially with the way Epic CS are currently set up as well. Yeah, okay, looks like he's going to try and live, but there are no guns anywhere near him in this side anyways.
He's got a butterfly knife at least.
That's true. That's true. Although lost a lot of its value recently, unfortunately. Wow. Sorry, I know that's a soft spot. Ah, oh my... Wow, it's worked out. Wow. Could not have worked out better for Gato, actually, there. A hand-delivered AK, as you said, Wax, and he's able to pick it up and carry on. A little bit of utility as well to back him up.
6-5. Being at a round deficit of the half when you were started as CT of Nuke is not what you want, to say the least. You actually want to be leading.
Yeah, you want to be looking more at that kind of... At the very least, you want that 7-5 in your advantage, you know, even that
9-3, yeah.
7-5, you know, kind of, yeah, but 8-4, 9-3, that's really what you would kind of expect. So I think Epic CS more than happy to, at the very least, tie up this half. But we'll see. You know, for Gogo Squad, I think there's quite a bit of fight still left in them. I don't think it's going to be that foregone conclusion regardless, but Epic CS able to get these initial engagements. Immortal not able to find Artini. That's a very, very quick shot. And all the space in the world for Epic CS to work with here. Pingu and Moab have to prevent this. Got, you know, a lot to work with in fairness, but so to Epic CS.
No, Pingu. Oh. It'll be too late, but now is going to be the element of surprise. Gets out for the first kill. Bomb's not planted yet.
Oh no.
Good flash.
Fantastic flash.
A bit better the second time around, but he is just going to walk into the target, crosshair of Micah. And I feel like we're talking about all the other players, but look at Saj. Somehow getting up there to 15 kills, leading the scoreboard in by convincing margin.
Especially from like Saj's performance, I believe. All love to him, you know, all respect necessary, of course. But Saj, I believe, one of the weaker performing players back in Mirage needed either just a map that they were more comfortable with, or just needed that time to warm up. But either way, certainly starting to show up for the side of Epic CS, and as you said, Wax, and now going into the CT side with a round advantage is an absolutely pivotal start for Gogo Squad. Though the holding of W keys trophy has been fully cleared out. Micah has been literally, well, figuratively, but pretty close to literally steamrolled. Meanwhile, the bomb already down by Ford Gogo Squad on this B site.
One kill from Buttertrout. Up to 3 overall. Artini elsewhere is more successful. Picks up the Tech 9. But he is winning the duel versus Immortal. Nick, oh my god. Artini, stop. Someone make him stop. That was a 2 HP, 3k with a Tech 9.
Artini does have a people say when you know, obviously there's a word that goes around Counter-Strike, toggling, and of course, you know, don't do it, it's mean, you know, it's mean-spirited, but I mean, Artini's kind of got a toggle on in and of his own there. A Tech 9, as you said, a 4 HP 3k with a Tech 9. You know, that was Ford Go-Go Squad's pistol, that was there. Foregone conclusion that Epic CS just ripped away, snatching victories from the jaws of defeat, and now Ford Go-Go half disadvantage, round disadvantage, econ disadvantage, mental disadvantage, everything going against them here in Epic CS, especially with Saj's frag from the MP9.
They got Nova, the XM rather, sorry.
We're even gonna see it. Everyone might be dead before everyone might be dead.
Come on, see me, go for it. See me, go.
I don't think it's happened. Yeah, Simi, the only player of Epic CS to actually not interact with it in that round at all. It's a shame. I love seeing the XM as well, but not necessary. Ford Go-Go just kind of picked apart one by one by Epic CS.
That's not that bad. Because he didn't shoot it a single time. He could be the element of surprise to completely catch these AKs under, you know, some unexpected angles.
Can they do it the second time? Can Simi find out a second angle? Again, will he even be needed? Is at this point now, are Epic CS that far ahead? Have they got their setups very much kind of, you know, down and ironed out to the point that Ford Go-Go aren't going to be able to find a gap in any of their placements in any of their positions? Only time will tell. Skimmy here could just be holding the XM as more of a little bit of a trophy, a little bit of a prize, just to say that he was here. And okay, if Sanchez landed shots like that with a deagle, then yeah, definitely going to be the case.
We want the XM kill. Come on, Simi, come on. Guys, stop dying, please.
Guys, please, for wax.
Where even is Simi? Yeah, where even is Simi? Come on.
He's still on top of Hut. He has not moved. Oh no, he's still okay. He's in Hut. He's in Hut. He has moved slightly. He has moved one floor down, but at the exact same X and Z coordinate. Oh my days, Saj. A very unfortunate spray, but does put Moab down to 11 HP. However, I mean, you mentioned it, Wax, just a moment ago. Artini has proved that as long as you're not at 0 HP, you can do some wild things.
There we go. Yay.
He's done it. I do love the XM10, and it's so unfair whenever you're at that level of HP, because one shell or one pellet from that hits you and you're going to fall down. Immortal though, trying to find the timing, trying to find the space, and it's a good kill, but there's no bomb for him. There's 5 seconds left. Can try and save the gun. It looks at least that's going to be pretty easy for him to do, but you don't have many more rounds to give up. You don't have many more rounds to save the gun. You need to be getting those points on the board.
5, and I have to say, Dante, this is looking highly improbable for Ford Go-Go to coming back into this one. We've been praying, we've been asking, we've been begging for that map 3, but Epic CS, they've put out a show for us on the T side of Nuke, and now that they're on the CT side, they're not letting this one slip out of their hand. Maybe this rush with Tech 9s is going to prove better as Butter Trout gets a couple before he falls, but it might just be a bit too late. Look at Micah, waiting to see someone's going to push hell. Not going to happen. And now he's going to be on their tail, but Simi in the smoke. Jumps inside. Actually plays it patient. Artini will lose the duel.
Well, the HE grenade strats, the HE grenade plays from both sides have been really enjoyable to watch, but it always seems it's going the way of Epic CS. Molly drops. Damage has been done, but Skimmy here, I mean, Immortal once again on 8 HP. A single pellet really spells the end here. It's a beautiful shot from one.
My God.
second follow-up. And Epic CS, another round on the board. The XM10 getting its value finally. And Ford Go-Go squad looking like they're at the end of their tether here unless they can come up with a miracle.
Can we do a petition or vote in the chat for Simi to play with a Nova?
You know what? I don't think it's a bias if the casters do it, because I'm gonna put in it. I'll skew the vote. I'll skew the vote.
Sag, AWP, 20 kills, 21. Nick out on the deck for the remainder of round 17.
Everything's just so, well, quiet with the occasional echo of either a smoke or a high explosive echoing through. Micah finds another kill. It's just not going the way. Yeah, Ford Go-Go now, they're very split. They're very unsure of what the strat is. The refrags aren't quite there in time. Gato and Pingu fighting back at the very least, but this always seems to be the way of it, Wax. And it's always, you know, Epic CS get the first 2, maybe 3 frags. Ford Go-Go fight back with 1 or 2 of their own, but at that point, the disadvantage is too much.
Sag had to swap up the AWP, not the best weapon to retake, but the AK-47 is much better right now. They swap places, is the bomb planted for Gato. He needs to be patient. Simi tries to find someone clearing the smoke with the XM. The bomb is ticking, now they're changing their sides. Gato is playing this to perfection. Great game sense, but the smoke coming in last moment. Sag turns around and it was so close, but the bomb wasn't even planted for him. The cat is out of the bag and Epic CS will now have 7 tournament points.
Oh, it's looking pretty brutal for the Ford Go-Go squad right now. What looked so promising as well, and Epic CS very much digging their heels in. Just getting the play set out, getting a little bit more streamlined, a little bit more efficient. And Ford Go-Go, just every time they've started an engagement, it always seems to be that Epic CS are going 2 for the price of 1. And that's just player count. That's not even in terms of guns or advantage. And Sag already immediately finds another frag with that op. Not really being contested with the utility. Not really being contested by anything as Moab falls as well. Mike is already set up towards Garage. Yes, here we go. As I said, Pingu's able to get one. Doesn't manage to kill the player on top of Hut just yet. Forces him down. Forces him into the eye line of Nick. But still now the bomb's got to go down and then a 3 versus 2.
Right down. HE is coming. Both sides. Nick still survives with 3 HP. Somehow gets a kill before falling to Buttertrout. And now a final double kill for Buttertrout. Almost dying to his teammate HE and Epic CS. Unless they stop defusing the bomb, will be the winners of the CEA Fall Finals 2025 for Counter-Strike.
Very cleanly done. Artini, I believe, wanting to add on just 1 extra kill to the feed at the end there, trying to maybe one up, but I mean, you want to look at that score, like you want to look at that efficacy. We were talking about Artini and Mirage, but 25 and 13 from Sag. Artini was having a couple explosive rounds, you know, 2 sets of 4Ks is absolutely incredible, but you know, come on, that's a double, essentially a 2 KD when you're performing that well. That's incredible stuff.
Absolutely. If Buttertrout would have died to the bomb there, he would have actually had the most deaths on the server, which would have been absolutely hilarious considering they won 13-5 and he got the final 2 kills. But what a performance. 13-5, including a 7-5 victory at the half on the T side of Nuke. It's kind of sad to see for Go-Go because they were up 4-1 in that second map.
Yeah, they started off on Nuke the way CS had started on Mirage. Very confident, very, much like it looked one-sided. It looked like the confidence was there, the cohesion was there, the coordination all there, but it just kind of slowly started to fade away. Now, in terms of it, we did not have kind of a team prediction. I'm happy enough with my 2 out of 3. Technically 100%. We never went to the third map. So while bless you, Bless you, my good man. But yes, I'm technically saying I was 100% right on my map call because we never went to Dust 2, so technically it doesn't count. But very well played from both sides. And again, Ford Gogo not taking away the 600, but 300 for charity isn't nothing. Bless you again, my good. Oh my day, the allergies. He is allergic to Counter-Strike being over, ladies and gentlemen.
For the sake of my audience and our audience, at least I managed to mute myself both times because I think that could have been very dangerous. Let's talk MVP.
Oh, that's real. Oh, that's harsh. Oh, that's really difficult, actually. Do you have one? Because yeah.
I mean, there's two ways we could go here. We could go for we award the most impactful player on the closest map, or we award the player that just made one map look way easier.
Yeah, we could. Right, here's the thing: we can go one way or the other, but there's nothing to say we cannot do both. So I think in terms of for making a map look easier, I mean, again, I think that's Sag. I think both of us would be pretty comfortable that Sag just kind of made Nuke look, kind of like his own personal playground. That scoreline is just a bit too dominant to not be the deciding factor in between it. But for the Mirage side,
I mean, even first map, he still had 15 kills and 7 assists.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's... I mean, hey, he just had an entire show. He really did. And whenever you've got someone that's just doing that dominant or run on 2 separate maps that play very differently, Mirage and Nuke are opposite kind of play styles really to each other. So having that level of consistency, absolutely insane.
I'm going to say it's a tie for MVP because I would love to award the tournament MVP, right? But this is just the series we got the chance to see. So I think, Epic CS winning 2-0, I believe not dropping a single map in the process, they should be quite happy with that, award as well. Ford Gogo, also, what a tournament so far. Winning 2-1, barely in round number 1, then round 2, defeating the number 1 seed Epic CS2, dropping to the eventual winners of Epic CS, and then defeating Epic CS2 again in the lower bracket final to make it to the grand final. So, round of applause for them. It was great to see them make it this far, and who knows, maybe next year they're gonna have the number of their opponents. But for today, it will be Epic CS crowned as your CEA full champions for 2025.
Yeah, and it's very clear to see how just a solid masterclass, as you pointed out, Wax, and just very, very good indeed. And I know we talked about the MVPs and such, but we do have to kind of talk about just at the start, Artini really just had such an explosive beginning for Mirage that at that point, it's scary whenever a player sets the standard like that, and I think we've all had those games. Yes, okay, this is quite a bit more higher tier. I am a lowly silver in CS. Yeah, just a teeny bit. I am a lowly silver when it comes to CS. So not going to say that but whenever you've all played these games, even in ranked, even in ladders and such, where there's one player. And sometimes, every once in a while in a blue moon, you become that player. And that's happened to me too. You become that player that you just set the standard, you set this tone. And when you're against that, you really have to, dig deep and kind of find that mental to, kind of keep that momentum going for yourself. And Artisan, I think, just prevented that from ever really starting. Yeah.
I mean, that is true. I also kind of want to go back to the mental of Fort Gogo. Both games, they started off impeccably. They won, I want to say, 3 out of 4 pistol rounds, and the 1 pistol round they did lose. They managed to win the second round after that. So they definitely coming in, they know how to mentally reset. They know how to be warmed up from the beginning. On the second map, you were actually questioning the lack of tactical timeouts. We have quite a few on Mirage, but they completely forgot about them on the second map. And, these are all things that you can learn with experience. And, the way I see it, when you play in a tournament, use all the tactical timeouts because you love playing tournaments. It's much better than playing pubs. So why not extend the time you have in the tournament by having those timeouts?
It gives you that more time as well. Again, not only just to extend the game for that play time, but the more you play, the more you learn. The more I've always kind of said this as well. particularly for games, because this was, we kind of mentioned it beforehand, yeah, okay, the scoreline, particularly for Mirage, was pretty close, but the rounds themselves, not really. But there's plenty for Ford specifically to go back and look at and kind of say, okay, here's the developments, here's what we can kind of learn from. When you're a team that is so confident, that's so kind of composed and those kind of things, if you get like 2-0s, you don't gain much from looking back on it. You just kind of rewatch it and go, yeah, we did this and it worked. But teams like Ford GoGo, as you said, Wax, maybe they'll come back next year. Maybe they'll have the score up. Maybe they'll have the understanding, and they could really take it to Epic CS. And I could totally see that happening.
Absolutely. And as always, I have to also mention some of the players on the, runners up, because we can't call them losers, right? They came in second place, and we've seen some great moments from multiple players, right? From the side of Ford GoGo, but I have to go Epic CS. They had an XM player.
Yeah, for that point, your heart was already won. Your heart was already stolen away, which is fair. We didn't. I mean, the Nova would always be the one that kind of steals mine, just because it's so ridiculous. But the XM, particularly when you've got players that are doing that kind of level, because what was also happening, and actually the XM's refreshed my memory on kind of one more point that I would like to point out, where a lot of times where Epic CS were alive, a lot of their players were on like kind of 8-10 HP. Like everyone was low, but no one was dead. Whereas Ford GoGo turns out a little bit more than not quite dead, and the damage there just kind of adds up. And again, when you're using the utility, when you're playing off of each other the way the Epic CS are going, that's what happens whenever you've got those 5 or 6 HPs. Those 5 or 6 HPs in a dream. Again, throw back to one of our MVPs who we brought up already. I mean, Artini, what was it? 4 HP, 3 Tech 9 kills?
Impeccable, yeah.
So
that was... It was crazy to see, because it was one of those rounds that should not have slipped out of the hand for GoGo, but in the end, when you got a player that can put a team on his back, that type of stuff just happens.
Pistol especially, because you don't have much else to work with. You've just got the bullets, you've just got the guns. But ladies and gentlemen, I believe with everything that is said and done, that is everything for tonight. Not super quick best of 3, but maybe a bit quicker than I believe Wax and you and I were hoping for. But that is the way. That is the way the dominoes do fall. That is the way the cards are dealt. But a phenomenal showing, nonetheless. Again, Epic CS $600 to their chosen charity. Ford GoGo squad still $300. So again, nothing to scoff at. And yes, I guess any kind of final hurrahs or final send-offs, Waxing, for the beautiful people.
It was a pleasure to be here and to witness and, cover such incredible players. And I hope to get to see even more Counter-Strike played here for future CEA seasons. And thank you all for having me. Thank you, Dante, for being amazing. Shout out to our amazing producer. And Epic CS. Truly epic indeed.
That's all we can say. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you hopefully sooner rather than later for some more CEA. It's been a blast.